Hi guys, this is Chris and Rich and welcome to Retro Weekends, where we try to complete the most notable games from gaming history.
Today we're going to attempt to complete Xenon for the Atari ST. This is a shoot 'em up released in 1988 for the system, and it was the first commercial release of the Bitmap brothers, who would go on to become a fairly notable British gaming company. They made games such as the Chaos Engine on multiple 16-bit machines, and they also made the PC game Z, which was a pretty cool strategy game, like very action-packed. So, have you got any experience with the game?
I haven't actually played Xenon, but I've played a lot of Z. I really enjoyed Z. And I've played a lot of the Chaos Engine because we played that quite a bit.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'm looking forward to this.
So you ready to go for it then?
Yeah, let's go. Let's put it in.
Just turn it on and the game starts up like a console, really, in a lot of ways, you know.
I also love the sound of a floppy disk ticking over.
So like I said, this is a vertically scrolling shoot 'em up. And in this game, you can swap between an aeroplane and a tank on the fly whenever you want. A little bit of voice acting there. So, unfortunately, the way that you swap between the two vehicles is you've got to waggle left and right on the controller, and it swaps. So, so when you're playing, make sure that you don't do any quick moves, because you're turning into
I can see this going very wrong.
And that is probably one of the main problems with this game.
Oh no.
Right, so you see this F here, that's basically your health bar.
Okay.
The P is how far your bullets fire.
Right.
And the R is how fast your tank moves. It's not an easy game, it's actually quite difficult, but it's a short game. So it's only 4 levels long.
Oh.
With this level here, as long as you get the power-ups properly and you pick up all of the Fs, it's not too difficult. The only thing about the first levels that's hard is basically the boss fights. Oh shit, I died.
Why did you die so quickly?
Because I've crashed into it. Oh, God.
Jeez. S. F, yeah.
There's an F down there.
Can't get it.
So you needed it a bit.
Yeah. I can't go higher.
No, you can only walk up. You can only go up to the half point of the screen, pretty much.
Oh, fuck. You dropped me in that one, didn't you?
Yeah, a little bit.
Nice.
Right.
Right.
Head to the right hand side and fire as fast as possible.
In plane or tank mode?
You have to do this level in plane mode. You need to kill these 4 things that turn up here as well.
You stay to the right.
Well, you killed it now. Careful of crashing, you will die in seconds.
Oh, you can crash?
Yeah, you will die in seconds.
Thank you for telling me that, like halfway into the level. I can't get to
Stay
that side.
slightly to the right.
I can't get to the side.
That's it. All you're nearly dead, but the F's coming up now.
What happened? Why didn't I die?
You were on like nothing. So I take it you never played with one of these Atari STs back in the day then?
I never had one.
No, I don't think I ever played on one either actually. I think I played on Amiga once or twice. But in America, all the kids in the 80s wanted NESs pretty much. But over here in Britain, all of the kids sort of dreamed about having an Atari ST or a Commodore Amiga. Mainly because on the backs of our boxes, our 8-bit computer boxes, like Spectrum and C64 boxes, they would always show the screenshots from the Atari ST or Amiga versions. Sort of a bit dishonest, really. So you'd always buy a game that looks fantastic on the back of the box. You get it home and it just looked like crap half the time. So, you know, you think, wow, these 16-bit computers must be amazing, you know. Go on the ground. You're fucked. Oh, no, don't go on the ground. Shouldn't have gone on the ground there, Chris. I don't know why you went on the ground.
Maybe because you said to go on the ground!
I thought it was the boss, but it wasn't. It was just a midsection.
You shit! You cost me everything!
You've got side weapons.
You
mate.
cost me everything!
I think you can pick up one option down here, can't you? You was close to death anyway. Probably scrolled him off the screen. You don't need to kill them, I think. Or you was just getting your revenge.
Shit!
And it's killed you.
Oh, I forgot about it coming across me.
There's an F there. Right, should I try and complete it now?
Yeah.
I'll tell you what's annoying actually. With the music, it cuts out every time you start firing. I don't know if you noticed. But the sound effects actually cut out the lead of the music. And the song is actually quite good as well. The music in this game is quite good. But yeah, it's a shame really.
Oh, you're hitting it.
Sorted. Yeah, I actually had this game when I was a kid on the Commodore 64.
Yeah?
Yeah, and me and my brother, we only got past the first level once in the entire time that we owned it.
Jesus. Oh, was it harder on the Commodore 64?
Yeah, it actually is.
I was going to say, it didn't seem that hard on me.
It's sort of like a Gradius type boss, isn't it?
Yeah. Well, it was like Gradius on the last boss because you had the laser thing, the laser ball you had to defeat, and then.
This game is, in a lot of ways, it's sort of like Gradius mixed with Slap Fight, a game that came out on the Commodore 64 a year earlier than this. It was actually an arcade game, but the C64 got a very good port of it a year before this. And the power-ups and a lot of the enemy the enemy turrets and stuff, they seem sort of like Slap Fight.
Nice.
Right. This is the level that's really nasty.
Option.
You have to kill these things first.
A bit cheeky.
Because you absolutely need this homing missile weapon here, otherwise you're screwed. These things here can all fire up into the air.
Oh, that is naughty. I like that. Boss time. It's a beetle. It shoots a load.
Another quite a big boss, isn't it? Quite impressive thing.
Nice.
Sector 4.
That side came just at the right time then, didn't it? Nice.
And this bit here, impossible without side weapon. If you die on a boss, you might as well turn the game off. You probably didn't want to hear that, did you?
No, thanks. Boss time. That's cheesing if ever I've seen it. Damn, you took like half of its on. Don't worry.
One crash, if I crash into it, then it will be all gone in a second.
Well, don't crash into it then. It's not moving that fast. Don't do that either. There you go.
Oh, I've done it, yes! Cool. That wasn't too bad in the end, was it?
Well
Was that
done.
a third attempt? No ending whatsoever.
No.
Just goes back to the beginning.
Okay. So, Rich, what do you think of the game?
I think this is quite a respectable game for 1988, you know. I mean, if you look at what was coming out at the time, as we always say, there wasn't actually a hell of a lot of so-called fourth generation shoot-em-ups coming out this year. I mean, when this came out in 1988, the Mega Drive, I think it was only just being released, so there wasn't a hell of a lot on the Mega Drive. I think Dragon Spirit came out on the PC Engine this year. It's a port from the arcade game. That was quite reasonable. But generally, there's not many games from this generation at this time. So this looks better than most shoot 'em ups. You know, it has more impressive bosses than anything coming out in '88. Mostly, I would say the graphics are quite reasonable, and the power ups are impressive. You've got a lot of options. You've got screen filling weapons, especially when you get that homing missile. You know, you're firing left and right. You're firing across with options, and you've got these missiles flying across the screen. I do quite like the transforming between planes. I think it's a great gameplay mechanic. I can see you're laughing, but that's the problem with implementation, I would say.
Yeah,
they had a great idea here,
but they couldn't implement it without having another button on the controller, because waggling, it's just so unintuitive.
Yeah,
it can screw you in so many. It did screw me quite a few times.
I'm not as fussed with the unintuitiveness as I am with the fact that it makes you have to hamstring the way you play. You can't make fast turns anymore from left to right, because imagine that you've got bullets coming and you want to weave through them. You can't do it. You know, you have to try and edge your way around them. So you're constantly in the back of your head. You're trying to hold yourself back from making fast, dynamic movements. You know, because you end up turning into a tank, and often that does happen. You will be, you know, happily flying over a section, and then suddenly you turn into a tank, and you're just surrounded by enemies that just destroy you, you know, in seconds. So that is an issue. I already said that I really like the music in this game, but the music being cut out by the sound effects is an issue for me as well. Maybe a bit less of an issue, but I do like the soundtrack to this game. So that is a real shame.
Yeah, that is
happens.
a shame.
Other than that, 4 levels is a little bit short. Maybe 5 levels would be a better amount for this sort of time period. So, what did you think of the game anyway?
Okay, so I really enjoyed the gameplay. I enjoyed the fact that you could morph between tank and airplane. I didn't enjoy the fact that you would morph at times where you really didn't want to.
Yeah.
I did enjoy the fact that if on certain sections of the game, in these games normally you go, okay, go option. Option's powerful. We're going to stick with option. In this game, you were like, okay, for this section, I'm actually going to have to use wing because you've got the tight enclosed spaces and you don't want to have to line up the option. So that was quite a nice varied element of gameplay.
Yeah, I'd say so. I mean, I do believe that the second level, a lot of sections in it are made much easier with the wing than they are with
and
the
the
option.
fourth level as well, because there are a lot of tight areas in the fourth level too. And as you find with all Bitmap Brothers games, the graphics were excellent. Yeah,
all of their games have a very specific style, and they really use the computer well a lot of the time, because this Atari ST can only do about 16 colours at once and without tricks. So they really maximise the colours with their style, and I think it's really very well fitting. This game, Xenon, was almost certainly created for the Atari ST as well. So this would have been the native version essentially.
So what are you going to give it?
Sort of like got. A lot of their games have this sort of chrome look to them. I don't know how to explain it, but sort of metallic kind of, with like reflections. I do like the look of their games a lot of the time.
Definitely.
I've decided after thinking about it for a while, I probably am going to give this only a 3 out of 5.
Wow.
Generally, I can't give it a 5 because the game's not long enough, I think, personally, and the pacing is off. The difficulty curve is a little bit off, I think. You know, it gets. In fact, level 4 is possibly one of the easiest levels.
It doesn't have a difficulty curve; it has a difficulty hump because it comes up and then it goes back down at level 4. So
I would say, I mean, I did level 4 nearly on my first go in the end.
Yeah.
So number 1, I can't give it a 5 because of those. It's not long enough, and it's not quite polished enough. And when it comes to giving it a 4 out of 5, you got the problems with the music. You got the problems with the turning into the spaceship or whatever. You know. So if they just fixed those 2 things, I would be giving this a 4 out of 5.
Yeah, I mean, I'm very samey with you. I think I agree with your comments about it. So I think I'm going to go 3 as well.
I would say that this is very close to being a 4.
Yeah, it's a high 3.
It's like there were just some niggling issues, which makes me think I'd rather be playing like Life Force on an NES from a year earlier than this, or Power Strike or something. A year after this, you've got games coming out on the Mega Drive and the PC Engine that just sort of blow it away. You know, PC Engine games like Gunhead, and the Mega Drive had Truxton on it a year after this, and those are proper sort of 4th generation shoot 'em ups. You can see them leap forwards.
Okay, guys, that was Xenon for this week. Very enjoyable game. Good for its time.
I think it's a very respectable game for computers. And you got to remember that this is their first game as well, so they're going to make a few errors here and there.
Yeah, nobody can expect to be perfect.
In reality, this is a very good first attempt. Very good.
Very good. So, if you enjoyed that, please give us a like, give us a comment, and subscribe to the channel. And we will see you next week with another game. Take care, guys.
See ya.